February air, a winter's harsh. A different kind of love, a sacred rush. For the roses is all the fleeting glance, before the scales and a fighting chance. We're the phoenix nesters watching from the wire, seeing shadows fall, fueling the fire. Every story buried, every silent tear. Here comes a promise whispered, conquering the fear. Oh, Lady Justice, can you feel the shift arise? A love for the truth reflected in our eyes. We're turning the pages, breaking all the locks. This is our true crime, resetting all the clocks. They sold you a story, a neatly packaged lie, but the threads are unraveling under a watchful sky. From the cold case files to the digital trace, we're finding a heartbeat in this forgotten space. Oh, Lady Taro space, can you feel the shift arise? A love for the truth reflected in our eyes. We're turning the pages, breaking all the locks. This is a true crime, resetting all the clocks. From the ashes of silence, a new day is born. For every lost soul, a promise is sworn. The blindfold is lifting, steady and slow. A garden of justice is starting to grow. Shift to arise, pure justice. Shift to rise, a Lady Justice.
Brian has been essentially convicted in the media. He has a right to have this information withheld, brought out in public, so that people can see it's not this neat little package. So people can start to wonder if Brian's innocent. Your Honor, Brian is innocent. So if I talk about things that are in the affidavit, and if I talk about things that we're seeking that the state wants to hide, I think that's fair game for the public to hear.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, every single 200 of you that watch my show. I love it. I love it. And all it takes is one person to make a difference in this community. One. And whether it be me or someone else, someone is going to make a difference. I believe it with my heart. Welcome into Phoenix Talks. It might get a little controversy and a little bumpy this morning, and you might not recognize what I have for you, but I want you to be open-minded because in this community, we show up for one reason. That is to find the truth. We challenge the narratives in mainstream that they've sold us that I've not spent my money on. We demand clarity because they're not giving it to us. The courts aren't, media's not, families aren't. Victims' families not, and we never stop asking questions. If that sounds like you, welcome home, because I want to thank you for being part of this mission. And like I said, today may be a little bit different, but somebody's got to talk about it. Someone has to talk about it. Drop a 1 if you saw my members only yesterday live on the Nancy Guthrie firsthand experience that I went on site. Little live field trip with y'all to see what was going on. and it became very apparent to me, the world is a fucking stage. Now, I might get really feisty today, but I have got a lot to bring you. I want you to come with your open minds, and if you have to put on your tinfoil conspiracy hat, coffee mug, suit, go get it. Because even though you may think it's a conspiracy, what if I told you it's not? What if I told you crime in the digital battlefield is real? And what if I told you that there is technology out there being tested every single day in our community? And what if I told you, since the world is a stage, they're laughing at the United States, the American people, because they think some of us are so stupid that we don't see them. Well, today I'm here to tell you that I see them. Many of you see them. And I've got some Phoenix fireballs for you today. Welcome in, every single one of you. Welcome in. There's a reason my channel's growing. I'm looking at the documents. I'm bringing you truth and facts. I'm benchmarking and get audio and visual that we see that's being released on a day-to-day basis by who? We don't know. At the end of the day, we don't know who's releasing this shit. Do we? Do we know legally who's releasing all this stuff to the public? Even if it comes from police departments, even if it comes from, the Justice Department, do we know that any of this is true? Well, I have mods here to protect us in this chat. If you are trolling, keep on scrolling. I know there's plenty of people out there that are trying to discredit me, trying to discredit my channel, trying to discredit my subscribers, because they're afraid that one person will stand up and say, enough of this bullshit. Bring us the truth. And I had my breaking point after I went to go see the Nancy Guthrie case, because the same players were all present. Look at the cases where the same players exist. So let's do this. If you're ready for this live that will go down in history, pop a 1 in there. I don't care if I get canceled or shadow banned or whatever this cancel culture is. I've got receipts, I've got proof, and I've got truth on my side. And may the good Lord protect us all for exposing the lies, exposing the distractions, exposing the deception. Because, folks, that's what we're looking at. We live in a digital spiritual age that deception is so much easier than before. And believe me, they're trying to take it to the next level in tech and more. Remember, I used to be in the tech field. I used to work for one of the largest technological companies in the world. Actually, a few of them. I was very fortunate. And yes, my ex-military experience comes in quite handy. But I'll tell you what, I have no criminal background. They can't discredit me. They can't threaten me. And they can't dispose of me because I bring you truth. We all need a little bit of truth, right from the top of our country down to the bottom of the individual that's struggling in our economy right now to pay bills. Every single one of us deserves just a little ounce of truth. Would you agree? Drop a fireball. I'm ready to unleash what I have. And remember, in my, I think this one's 2 terabyte drive, I've got some old factual screenshots, pictures, videos, things that will discredit this whole fucking narrative that they have tried to sell from the top down. Remember, Trump said, oh, there's nothing. You got nothing. Well, folks, what if I told you that I actually have a LinkedIn picture that Mr. G, I'll call him, says he works for the University of Idaho. He's a self-made millionaire, and he's in the technology field. Interesting. Very interesting. You know, because I do my research. I grab screenshots before they privatize. Before. Anytime a story comes out, I go right for the jugular, man. I go grab everything digitally that I could find. And you know what? It pays off. I'm not some shill. I'm independent. I'm not being paid by a media company to spill bullshit. I'm spilling what I find and what doesn't make sense. Plenty of people out there trying to discredit me. Go fucking for it. But you know what I'm going to do? Still going to bring you the facts. Let's watch this video and get into it. Hello, every single one of you faithful followers. Faithful. God, I see a lot of love in this chat. Keep dropping it, baby. If you're sick and tired of all the grifting, if you're sick and tired of all the freaking lies that you have felt in your spirit, these people are lying. There is more to this story. Why did they never develop certain DNA forensics? Why is Brian Koberger factually innocent, sitting in prison allegedly? You know, after he showed up for the sentencing with the tan and the buzz cut, kind of wondered if that was actually true. All the banana stories. You know, I've got a video that's going to drop that's going to really showcase my talent. But I'm going to tell you one thing before you see it. It's quite graphic. It's a visual. It's for educational purposes. But I want it to hit you so hard that you're going to think twice about what we've been told. See, I'm going to be honest with you. My mama used to tell me all kinds of things, and I'd be, yeah, right. Until I lived through it myself, and now I know. Elderly people have experience to share with the younger generation. 100%. I'm not getting any younger. I might as well share what I know. I've seen top secret classified for your eyes only documents. I can keep a secret, but when those become unclassified, I can tell you everything that I've seen in my entire military career, my private career, my public career, and there is so much being hidden. So let's get into it. I love every single one of you that show up. We're showing up with a purpose. And if you're showing up to troll, just shut up. Just shut the fuck up. I may not be the stream for you. Move on. Let's listen to what Mr. G said in the beginning of this. This was December 4th, 2022. And I want you to tune in to the things that don't sound like bullshit. I want you to tune into the things that is the agenda here. I might point them out, but I want you to go out, think about coming back in if this is not for you. And I want you to hit the thumbs up and then come back into this stream. Swipe down, hit the thumbs up. If you're ready to hear what I got to say, come on in. And all you little two-timers out there, I know you're in my chat. I know you're talking to the people talking shit about me. I know you're supporting them. I've blocked many of you. Some I choose not to block. I know who you are. I know who you are. See, you didn't know I knew who you were for the last 7 months, but I watch everything possible. I don't watch other creators, but I sure watch their comments. So I fucking know who you are. You know who you are right now. And I see a couple of you here. But I'm going to let you stay here and listen to what I have. Oh, we've got a lot of two-timing cheaters. Oh, yeah. Time to fess up. Time to fess up, you double-faced cheaters. Time to fess up. Get the hell out, or I'll just block you at the end of this stream. They know who they are. I can keep a secret, but they think they're getting away with something. They're not.
But if you don't have the information, people do know If they don't, then the community, this is a community that is IT based. These guys live a digital footprint like we've never. All of us people, we don't know how much that digital footprint could be helpful. So that's what we asked for. I hope like a DNA, a family lineage, if they could come out here and just start taking, this town is not that big. We could figure out this, and it might not be him. It might be a family member.
They fucking wanted the whole town to give their fucking DNA, people. What do you say about that? How many DNA did they get from this case? How many DNA? Steve talks about bloodline lineages, talks about tech, talks about that fucking digital footprint. See, because information like DNA, information like, oh yeah, they got our cell phones. They got all, you want to play on an app, we're going to have all your contact information. You want to start an email, we're going to have all your information. You want to pay your bill online, you're going to have to give us all your information. Oh, wait, you want to buy something? I want your checking account number now. You want to pay your fucking bill? Give me your checking account number. I'm telling you, it's in our faces, and they're fucking loving it, laughing at us. Cats girl, you are fucking amazing. Well, you're amazing. Yeah, I might be that person they call crazy, but I'm going to give you the crazy fucking truth. And I stand 2 feet down. Guys, I was in the technology. I was in top secret military background. I see it. Every single case I see, Idaho, Utah. I mean, I could go all the way back to the Gabby Petito. I could go all the way back. Military operations have been happening right in front of your faces, behind the crime in the digital battlefield. I'm calling it the digital battlefield. See, here's the deal. I'm giving you my stream. I'm showing you as a concerned citizen of the United States of America. I've done no crime talking and using my First Amendment speech. This is pretty powerful. This is the digital ecosystem we live in 2026. We're talking about crime, media, tech, and public perception. They are all colliding. When I said the other day we were at a crossroads, we are at a crossroads, and many of you know this. Many of you know this. Many of you know this. Now, if there was some rift between Steve and his daughter, then that was between them. Maybe she was onto something. Maybe he's within the 3-letter agency. I don't know. This is all alleged and speculation. But if he was, she didn't go along with it. She didn't go along with it. So you tell me, fucking MPD, when you moved everyone's stuff out of the 1122 King Road, I don't know if they all perished or not, but what I'm saying is Moscow Police Department, they, in their publicly released documents, they only moved Xana's, Ethan's, and Madison's stuff out of that house. It's all there. You guys can go freaking read it. And now they're trying to say, oh, go sue these sleuthers that are trying to out us. Go sue all these sleuthers because they don't know what they're talking about. Don't believe them. Don't believe them, folks. Don't believe them. Well, you can go read for yourselves. I'm going to put the documents up. We're going to talk about it. We're going to have a live open discussion of these players, witnesses, DNA, tech, the ecosystem that we are living in, because the digital age is not going away. You guys hear about all these big data centers they're building, all this new AI tech, right? Drop a 1 if you've heard about all these digital tech, AI AI station build and all over. I know it's been everywhere. Nvidia stock is through the roof. All these new centers, all these AI data ready centers are all over the country. They're ready to deploy. Okay, you're all are with me. You're with me. Good. And if you're not, just sit back. I'm feisty today. I have to apologize in advance. This has touched a nerve of mine that I have seen for a while. And I just couldn't get there until I went to Nancy Grace's house and I saw it with my own eyes. I felt it in my own spirit. I saw it. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you know the players, you know the players. Now, we're coming to a digital age that I just talked about. We're at a crossroads, folks. Louisiana just built a Meta selected Louisiana to build a $10 billion artificial intelligence data center. And now all these constituents, this is what they're building out there. This is what they're building in Louisiana. And now they're starting to tell these people, and even the top of our government is pushing back, saying, no, you can't steal these people energy. You have to bring your own water, your own power, figure it out. And they're selling it saying, hey guys, it's going to lower your power bills. It's going to be beneficial for, yeah. If you think they're in the digital pockets right now, they are in more than you know. More than you know. And I'm sure a lot of you are very smart here. You guys are going to get it. Everything woke ghost broke. You guys are amazing. You have been the most amazing, positive thing in my life for the last almost a year now. From the TikTok days all the way to here. Now, let me just say this. I'm going to show you some factual documents, Moscow Police Department documents, where they move only 3 individuals private bedrooms. Okay? And they've kept this individual private. They've kept this individual private. They grabbed their emails. They shared it in the public documents. Okay? This is Bethany and Diem's personal items removed. They've blocked out who removed them. And there is so much more to this. So much more. Why do you think they only moved 3 victims' stuff out of that house? Why do you think that? Drop it below in the chat. We're going to get back onto IDAHO4 and I'm going to marry it together and you're going to see what I have to say. Oh, he couldn't even get that right. Oh my God. Can't even get that right. And if you got to come back, make sure you got your documents. They pick the stupidest shit out of my videos. The stupidest shit. I think it's hilarious. We are truly in an upside down universe. Ink Mama, I would agree with you. But I think and I hope that it is getting flipped right side up. I think that's what we need to share. Why would they block? Yeah, why would they block out who moved their stuff? Why would they need to only move 3 people's personal items? Why? I mean, I kind of questioned it when I first started looking into this. And I thought, why would they leave Kaylee's stuff there? But her mom has boxes of her stuff. And you know what? I've got screenshots instead of going through this entire document. Let me just pop the screenshots that I have up here, because that's going to be a lot easier. I'll give you all the documents. Was that one person that went to the hospital Kaylee? The family can answer this. The family can answer this, just like when Payne said, well, if there was a second weapon, you're going to have to ask the G family. You're going to have to ask the G family. Remember that? I always wondered what he meant by that. I always wondered, what was he talking about? Okay. MPD, James Fry, 1/11/23. On 12/7, at approximately 10 a.m., Lieutenant Mooney and I packed up personal belongings from Xana and Ethan and personal belongings from Madison's room. This was on 12/7. Why? Because I don't think Kaylee was dead. You can't move a living person's items, from what I understand, without permission. And my assistant KP helped box up some items from the 1122 King Road residence. We wore protective gloves and shoe booties, which were changed out after completion of Xana's room prior to going into Madison's room. Then we left the residence to rent a U-Haul truck. After loading the items into the truck, I drove the vehicle to secure the storage student to Moscow City shop and listed the individuals unpacked into the truck in secure storage garage, where they were kept prior to releasing them to family members. Well, why the fuck didn't you pack up Kaylee's stuff? And why did her family have to wait all this time to get her stuff? Do tell us. Come on, Steve G. I know you're tight with other creators that push your bullshit. I want to know the truth. What, are we sold on some bullshit story? What happened in that house? What happened in this case? The public has a right to know. There was said that there was technology in that house. Did they use that tech to get to the DNA to fry an innocent guy? Did they use that tech as a military operation going on, a parallel investigation? Are they using that tech in other cases? I wonder. It makes you go, But the ambulance was told to see. Well, you know what? Somebody said, oh my God, at 3:30 there were ambulances everywhere. Well, you know what, folks? That's when I thought, somebody must have leaked this information. Somebody, that trusted source that we see a lot of in the media. Somebody must have seen all this going on. They've hushed a lot of people because they're afraid. But let me tell you what. Of course, I scanned every single video, downloaded every single video, because things are going to disappear. They always do in these cases. They disappear so they could discredit us. But I save everything that I watch, see, screenshot, because at the time of 3:30, you don't see anything. You don't see ambulance, you don't see police, you don't see anything. That's when manipulation and AI could possibly allegedly take place. Because nowhere in there's some video that said it was released. And if you notice, they released it to the media. I don't see any of these creators that are out here looking for the truth. If they really are, they're not talking about it. They're talking about it at the surface level for entertainment. They're not talking about the level that I talk about it. They're just not. They're not looking to piece anything together. I'm not looking to solve this, but I know when I see something that doesn't make sense, I say something. B freaking S. They're playing with us. They're laughing in our faces. Well, they're trying to discredit us at the same time. So when you start looking at the 330 that they did release to the media, and it was released to the Idaho statesman of all people, okay? Let me grab the document. Let me grab the video so you guys can see this, because they're the first ones that had it, and we were all baffled. I was, at least. Let me grab it. And it was the car video. It starts, I believe, at around 3:30. Let me grab it, because they're the only ones that had this video first. And I kept saying, why did they get it first? Why wasn't it released? I know people were foiling all over. Idaho statesman, 6 months ago. Here it is. Watch the time frames at the top of the screen, top right. $3:30:23. This is when we think the car goes backwards. It's so easy to manipulate data. They fast forward it. People leaving. You don't see any ambulance. You don't see, there's a lot of activity, yes, but you don't see what some people were describing. Was this Friday night maybe? Was this another night? Was this meshed together? Because they had all the SD card. They had everything they needed to make this camera work. For how long? A week? 2 Saturdays? The Saturday before? They could have spliced it together to make some news story. Here's 3:40. Allegedly. Could have been a totally different Friday night. They could make any story up. We could be watching cops come in and out of here. We could be watching a movie, folks, and not even know it. That's supposed to be the DoorDash driver. Supposedly someone who's lost? Or is that someone taking Murphy out to put him in the back of the car? I don't know. It's speculation. Who knows? Why is she just standing there? They block her out. They use blur tech. remember, they have all this digital technology. I muted it so we don't have to hear that. I mean, could this have been another night? Could this been that night? That car looks like it's backing up. Yeah, it backs up and then it leaves. Looks like a Prius background. Looks like that car's lost. Turned in the wrong area. All right. So this is what the Statesman showed. Okay. So if you're not a subscriber or a member, consider that, because I did a private video to members only yesterday. I am not releasing it to the public. I'll probably wait a week after I share what I have here and a little more, and then I will release it to the public. So definitely consider you guys watching that. It's a lot. It's totally a lot. But keep in mind, this is what the Statesman released. It was not FOIA'd. Somebody released this to the Statesman. And this was after, let me just get 6 months ago. And it was August 7th. It was 2 weeks after alleged, well, it's not even alleged, 2 weeks after the plea deal, the sentencing. And it goes on a little bit more. You can go and watch it yourself. I'll drop the link so you can verify for this yourself, and you can go watch that. But we didn't see no ambulance on this footage. We didn't see any police. They are saying that this crime happened at this time. They are saying the crime happened at this time. Although many of the news reports earlier, they said it happened between 3 and 4. Then they came out and said, no, wait a minute, it happened at this time. They were seed planting the best time, in my humble opinion, allegedly, when they could say that this crime occurred. And that was the Lyndon Beck interview, the witnesses that I showed you before, that they heard noise between 2 and 3, that they seen things between 2 and 3. They, 4 other witnesses that I've showed you. And guess what time Kaylee and Maddie got home? Between 2 and 3. All right. Now, I don't agree with everybody, but somebody put something in the chat just a few minutes ago that I want to address. And did anyone see, that was the Statesman. Thank you, Statesman, for releasing that and giving us a little bit more information so we could verify how corrupt people really are. Okay. Did anyone see a food bag in Molly's hands? Now, I released this footage a few days ago. I showed you the ISP document where they admitted they went from 1112. They admitted they went to McDonald's after taking back somebody that morning I don't know who it is, but you just said the name Molly, which would make sense because there was a Molly who lived there. And there was a Molly seen at the food truck. So at 10, it was 11:17 in the morning, I believe. Let me just pull that video again. And I played it in slow motion. There was nothing special about this video, guys. I just played the video live. I shared it, played it in slow motion, and we all watched it together. It was nothing nefarious. And I did not manipulate anything. Someone on another channel said I did. How dare you try to drag my name in the fucking mud. And this was 11:07. After these guys leave, I'll go right to the video. 11:17. This is where they pull up in the ISP document. All I freaking did was play it in slow motion. I think it was half speed, or maybe I froze the video. And you can see the freaking bag in this person's hand. How dare you accuse me of superimposing or photoshopping a video that I'm playing live directly from someone's video. What video is it? It's Jules' True Crime right here. See it? I'm playing her video that's uploaded on her fucking channel. So how dare you ever try to rage bait me? There's some real losers in true crime. They come back. I don't know what kind of shake she's holding. They could have went to 2 different places, but my point was the ISP said they went to McDonald's. This girl was in a different car. Maybe she went to Jack in the Box and got a shake. The other girl clearly told the detective, I went to McDonald's, and I showed you that document too. They were in 2 different cars. I don't know where she got this shake from. Is that a Jack in the Box shake? Or is it a McDonald's? Hold on a minute. Is it a McDonald's yogurt? That's not a shake. It looks like a smoothie to me. McDonald's smoothie. Maybe they followed each other and they got a freaking smoothie. I don't know. I'm not looking at what maybe she bought or not. Sure looks like a freaking fruit smoothie to me. It's in a clear container, and by God, it just might be a smoothie. Somebody said it was a Jack in the Box freaking shake. Y'all, get real. It's not that hard. We live in a time where you can digitally find anything online, pretty much. An iced coffee? Possibly. Very possibly. I mean, I don't know. The colors are distorted in this video, too. I mean, geez Louise. All right. I don't know what kind of shake it is. Who cares? The other girl's got the McDonald's right here. Did they digitally superimpose it? No. That's a clear McDonald's bag. That's not a Jack bag. I didn't superimpose Jack. Come on, folks. It's crazy. People will say anything for attention. I just showed you the facts. They're pissed off because of the facts. Look at this cup. That is a McDonald's cup. That is a McDonald's bag. No one superimposed that. The whole damn video is blurry. They blurred out her face, yes. They didn't blur anything else out except for the license plates. They didn't blur out this McDonald's bag. Clearly, that is a McDonald's bag. So, in my humble opinion, there are some freaking paid trolls around. Paid opposition. And I just got to laugh at you folks. You try to rage bait me. It's hilarious because then I can always prove you wrong 9 days to Sunday. 9 days to Sunday. All right. So now let's get into the players. I've already talked about the witnesses. I talked about tech. It's over $30. Yeah, I don't even go to McDonald's. I stopped eating there about maybe 12, 15 years ago. No way. Oh my God, how blind am I? Cats, I saw that you gave a donation. Thank you so much. But I didn't see the amount. I am flabbergasted. Oh my God. I am shocked. Thank you so much. Thank you. Y'all give some love up for Cat's Girl. I have never had that large of a donation before. You are the top nester. Look at that, you guys. That is beautiful. Thank you. How could I not see the amount? I mean, sometimes I look, but sometimes I'm just, any donation helps stay factual and on this stream. I'm telling you. Thank you so much, Cat's Girl. Kaz Girl. I always say it wrong too. Thank you. Humbly. Now, let me say this. Yes, my mods are amazing. They are freaking God's gift to a streamer. You didn't see a bag in Molly's hand. No, Molly didn't have a bag, but this girl did. She had some type of drink. There is no bag in Molly's hand, but this girl has a, remember they drove in 2 separate cars. They pull up in 2 separate cars. They could have went to 2 separate places. Okay? Absolutely. I've always paid it forward. Thank you so much. So now listen to this. Let's real talk. Let's talk about this for a second while we're looking at this picture. It gives me the great opportunity to bring up that we are living in a time where every crime becomes content. Okay? Every crime like this on national news becomes content. Every witness can become a broadcaster, except for in this story. We've not seen anyone in this true crime become a broadcaster. This is what actually happened. Now, I've been involved in some legal cases, and I've spoken about them from time to time, but I've not broadcasted out on America what it actually was. It was a civil case, and yes, I was falsely arrested for somebody saying I stole something, which I had receipts and proved my innocence, which they dropped the charges and scrubbed it from the repository. And that is truthful and factual. I've never talked about my civil case. And the reason I do that is to keep my family secure. I don't want anyone knowing the award that we were given in my civil case that we're still trying to collect. Okay? But I'm just saying, some of these people in this story, in this witness, have become a broadcaster. There are people out there on TikTok that share their personal experience and get people to realize about our justice system. Every rumor in this story can go viral for 60 seconds at least. Every narrative has some type of competition. We've talked about that. AI can create images, audio, and video, folks. Remember months ago I said, was this the very first AI court case? Is this the very first AI crime case? Okay. Is it? I don't know. I was just speculating, as I do still today. Public opinion forms before trials begin, and that's what they did. They prosecuted Bryan Kohberger in the media. This changes everything in the digital age we live in. The news is no longer just news. In 2026, we have traditional media, which are TV still and newspapers. We have independent journalists, which I've seen some this week, not weekend. There's YouTube streamers, just like myself. I went live and streamed. And it wasn't like the other streamers that you're watching right now. It's not. There's Reddit communities, there's TikTok creators, there's Twitter threads. All compete to frame the story. Now, news operates in real time, emotional driven cycles we've talked about, engagement algorithms we've talked about, and outrage economics. The fastest narrative often wins, not the most accurate one. And this is the sad, God's honest truth. It takes truth to come out longer. You ever hear the phrase, truth will come to light? It does eventually. We live in crime in the age of cameras. We live in a world. Now, listen, if you agree, drop a 1 with what I'm about to spout off. I wrote these down. Crime in the age of cameras, folks. I can have a whole stream about this. A whole stream. Drop a 1. We live in a world of what you see right here. Ring doorbells, light bulb cameras. We live in a world of what? What else? Traffic cameras, campus surveillance, license plate readers, sell by bright phone extractions. I played a video on my private members only yesterday. And in this digital battlefield, what we're talking about, DNA databases, cell phone pings, geo-fence warrants, social media metadata. What else? I mean, think of something that you've, green light cameras. That would be obviously traffic surveillance. Yes, Veronica. That's what I'm talking about. Even my car has cameras, and it's not a Tesla. And it does self-auto only because I have rheumatoid arthritis, and sometimes it's really hard when I drive more than 30 minutes. My wrist and my fingers kill me. So I have a car that drives half self-driving. It's like an auto. And I'll tell you, we live digital timestamps. Thank you. Satellites, TVs in our homes, facial. Yes, now we're talking. You guys are beautifully wicked smart in a good way. I'm getting to where I want. Okay. Jennifer, we're thinking now. This is where we come together and we can think outside the norm. People are waking up to this digital nightmare and seeing it for what it really is. So what's the next step they're going to want us to do? What do you think the progression is for digital technology to keep a footprint on us? Because what did they say in Brian Koberger's case? He turned off his phone. Right? He turned off his phone. Okay. Now, bear with me. I showed this yesterday. Okay. I showed you this yesterday in my private. I'm going to show it to you today. I'm going to bring, you guys are going to be like, oh my God. What this girl says from Cellbrite, I've done a lot of research on them. I brought you some videos before. They are going to want you to tag your elderly to keep them fucking safe. That's my humble opinion. I believe they're trying to immense fear. Listen to what she says. Watch her facial.
So for the Idaho murders, Brian Koberger literally created bookends around the crime by turning off his device. So in addition to all the clearing and other things that he prepped for to erase his digital footprint, the fact that right before the murder, his phone was turned off, and then within like 40 minutes or so after it was turned back on, kind of gave us that tunnel to look down here. This is why you're not seeing anything.
In this case in particular, we have not heard anything, and by this case, I mean the Nancy Guthrie case. We have not heard anything came of the cell tower forensics. But with the Koberger case in mind, what kind of stuff are they looking for, and what kind of stuff might they find that could help them here?
A few things that immediately come to mind, especially when I think back of what Jared and I looked at for Idaho. First and foremost, pattern of behavior is huge. And why his phone being off in those hours was so damning against him. One, he was awake. It was a user requested power off. The logs show the truth of all this. His phone was at 100%, and then it pinged a tower when he turned it back on, which put him in Idaho and not in Washington, where he lived. So all of that was a beautiful painted picture.
Okay, I had to stop it right there. I didn't realize I was on mute. My goal is not to make you paranoid. It is not to make you panic. It is to make you aware of what's going on around us and pull it all together. I want everybody to do what I shared the other day, whether you want to do it 333 or 446 or whatever your numbers are. Breathe in for 4, hold it for 4, out for 6. This is a powerful breathing technique. I'm going to do it. Powerful. Okay? See, we get to decide. We get to decide if we want to play the game. Anybody can get rid of their cell phone. Everybody can get rid of their email. Anybody cannot play the game. We get to decide where we've had enough is enough. Okay? I don't want anyone to be shocked by what I'm sharing. I want you to be aware. We have a choice if we play.
For Nancy Guthrie, I have heard people make claims that even when a phone is turned off, it still pings towers, which is not true. If the FBI and investigators got cell phone pings, which we've all read and heard that they did, they're obviously looking for pattern of behavior. What is normal? What was in that area during the time when Nancy was kidnapped? All of those things come to play. Now, if the person prepped, they wouldn't ping that tower. But if they went ahead of time and scoped it out or planned, they would have. And then you can also look for entry and exit and then proximity pings, because eventually you're going to turn your phone back on. So that is one thing with the pings. The other thing is people make mistakes. Did they really turn it off? Was their device only in airplane mode? How did they know where they were going? So thinking of different settings on the device will really help when a suspect comes into mind. And when they actually have a phone of a suspect, I hope that they call me. I want to help, and I want to say, look here, look here, look here, because the loudest evidence can be the lack of evidence.
So, it's interesting about the airplane mode thing. Like, we don't know who the guy is yet, or even if it's just one person, and we don't know the situation of their phones. But if they were carrying a phone and it's in airplane mode, that's still useful to you guys. So how does that work?
When your device is in airplane mode, here's a good example. I created a CTF for Celebrate, and I put my device in airplane mode when I fly because we're supposed to, and I try to follow the rules. But when I dumped my device looking for data to compare to Brian Koberger's Android, I saw that my device updated in Denver. So even though it was in airplane mode, it still knew when I was hitting time zone changes. It's still pinging towers. It is still reaching out for a signal. It's not fully shut down. With Brian Koberger, he disabled cellular, disabled Wi-Fi, and turned off his phone. That is extreme measures to not have a digital footprint. So he really took all the steps, but still made a mistake. So we hope in Nancy Guthrie that whoever has her made a mistake and that we can uncover that footprint.
Now, we know that they looked at the cell tower data, and that's going to be different from the stuff you guys look at. So, you're not going to see anything until they actually have a suspect and look at their phone. But what kind of clues in the cell tower data could lead them to someone so you would have a chance to check on a phone? I mean,
oh yeah, that's a fantastic question. And back to Idaho again. Jared and I dealt directly with the FBI CAS team, and they're the ones that get the cell towers and they find the gaps. And without them, we probably wouldn't have stumbled upon the log file that we did when they.
Remember, she is talking tech, and there was an article that was brought out this morning that I saw, and she is like jumping at the bit because she's saying this is Heather Barnhart from Cellbrite. They used, obviously, in the IDAHO4 case, their tech. Okay, this isn't the only tech that I've talked about. We talked about the DNA tech from the private lab in Florida. They didn't use Othram, as far as I'm aware, in this case. but they used a private lab in Florida, and I showed you and what they do in that private lab. And they do some, I would say, borderline unethical things, in my humble opinion. Now she's saying that the blackout could finally crack case despite DNA struggles, which we know that they've had some DNA struggles. And that's the other part of the DNA and the tech that they're using. Mind you, this is a live open discussion on the players, the witnesses, the DNA, the tech in the IDAHO4. But as I visited Nancy Guthrie's house the other day, took her some flowers, I saw the same players that were involved in other cases that tie into new tech. Okay? Now she's saying the same thing. The digital forensics expert, that's what she's saying she is, who helped capture Idaho Brian Koberger through his cell phone, says the same type of tracking technologies could be the key to nabbing whoever kidnapped Savannah Guthrie's mom. Well, Savannah Guthrie's mom has a name, and her name is Nancy Guthrie. Okay, I don't know why they're using her name, but it's almost a month. They're going through all that data, and they're using the tech to look for virtual footprints. All right? Virtual footprints, because this guy has no identification. He's in a glove, a ski mask, a jacket, all that stuff. Okay? Just what she's talking about in this little video. But watch her react. Her whole reactions give it away to me.
He told us, hey, there was a dark period. He wasn't pinging anything during this time. It's kind of weird. So the communication is key. If investigators aren't talking, forensics isn't going to make sense. You need everyone involved to paint the entire picture because there's so many different specialties. If typically when these pings come in, they will say, okay, this many devices were in this area at this time. Also think about the time of night when that is. In her neighborhood, I have a friend that lives close by. She went there and she said one cell service is terrible in that area, which isn't great, but you still will likely ping towers. It's also very dark. It seems like it's an older generation that typically lives in there, mostly asleep. So I assume there's not going to be a huge, like hundreds of thousands of phones. So once they have that, they can contact the network service providers and track back to actual individuals.
And they're going to be, if everybody's asleep, they're going to be the phones that are moving, right? So they can narrow it down even more. There's two other devices involved in this that we know of, right? That's the Nest camera that was taken off of her front porch, which presumably the Wi-Fi was on, and Nancy's pacemaker, which they sent the Bluetooth sniffer device to fly around and try to find it. Unfortunately, with no luck. But with those two devices, one is Bluetooth, one is Wi-Fi.
New tech.
Are there any
new tech? They sent a sniffer out to a medical pacemaker inside Nancy Guthrie's body. Yeah, hit that thumbs up. Swipe down for 1 minute or a second. I'll hold this thought. Swipe out, hit the thumbs up, swipe back in, and I'll continue. Yes, very word salad. Yes, he sure did, and I read that document. Hitler already said if you include a third tower, he needs a Frank's hearing. Correct. Okay, so they are trying new tech. They have a sniffer, which is a drone that they fly around, and they are looking for Nancy Guthrie. Now, in this process, why couldn't you just go to what I shared, and I've been sharing for days, and if you've watched any of my other videos, why can't they just go to NamUs, okay? Why can't they just NamUs, and search Nancy Guthrie, okay? Because little by little, I don't know if you're following the story like I am, she has been missing January 1st. That was a whole fabricated set of videos that everybody has been making money on. And they created NamUs on February 9th. If you know anything about NamUs, it is for other agencies that are out searching for people if they come across their remains. And the last known map is at this exact coordinate that they have put in this, obviously in this database. You can't make a mistake. And if you look at this red dot, it says that she was last seen. This is an official legal database, okay? And it says on this ping, let me hit it again. It's 3.4 miles away from her house. And why is it not popping up now? Hold on. Let me get directions. Let me see if it'll let me do it. I did it the other day. Let me go back. Let me go back to missing. I'll do the map again. It'll open up a new map. Right here. It says it was some happy animal farm. I called them. And asked them, what days are you open? Okay. Why is it not pulling it up now? Let me see if it'll do it this way. Why is it not working? I bet you somebody caught on to what I did. It says it's in the Catalina foothills, 3.4 miles away. She lives over here on this side. Remember, I just drove it yesterday. I took you guys with me. She lives right on this side, left side of the screen on this map. And this said, I called this hotel to see if I could stay there overnight. It was a $600 room. Okay. And that was the Hacienda del Sol. She told me there was no hiking trails behind here, but I see hiking trails all behind me that goes into this road. And now they're searching right here last night live for a simple camera that caught the car that they're talking about. Now this is, why is it not pulling it up? What in the world? It pulled it up the other day, you guys. I did it live and now it's not doing. Happy Animal Farm something. Why is it not pulling it up? Oh, there it is. Sunny Haven Farm Animal Sanctuary. Okay. Sunny Haven Farm Animal Sanctuary. That is where the officials have said the last known location of Nancy Guthrie. I called the Sunny Haven Farm. They are not open to the public. She will let people come in. I told her I wanted to have a field trip and go see the animals with my assistant. And she said, you can come at 8 in the morning or you can come in the evening when we feed the animals. I said, okay, cool. Yes, I recorded everything. I've got everything for you. Now, if you look at, this is where Nancy Guthrie was last known to be on left side. This is North Campbell Road. They were just over on 5 Camino 5190. Hey, Camino Real is right here. That's where JLR was live last night looking, because they had some video. Now, I'm not talking bullshit. I'm not blowing smoke up your butt, guys. I pay attention, okay? Now, even if I went over to JLR right now, he's live, obviously, probably. Even though they blocked off the road and they have to hoof it. I heard the other day they were going to do it. That's why I went over to go see. He's live right now. They have to walk almost a mile or two in the heat. Okay? I'm not blowing smoke up your guys' butt. I'm telling you the way it is. This seems to be, I don't know, this is what he's filming live today. Let me see what he's... Now, guys, if you think I'm blowing smoke, I'm going to show you his live from 2 days ago.
"84 years old,
There's the trash truck I was behind. They couldn't even get in there because everyone was blocking the same roads. Okay. This is where I am in the background, dropping the flowers that I brought. My assistant is right here. I talked to the NBC news guy. He interviewed me.
Uber in the past. I had to share here.
There is me. All right. Now, a lot of people don't know this. That's why I'm sharing it with you right now. So if you, let me play this fast. I was live and I was there and you could see me. I looked at these individuals all parked on the side right here. The guy came over, interviewed me, scared the shit out of me. I was praying for the family, praying for Savannah. Okay. This is all legit. All live on my channel. The guy back here, he has a channel standing in the black umbrella. I approached him. I said, "Hey, how are you?" And he shook his head good. And then he said, "No habla inglés." I said, "You don't speak English?" And so I was going to talk to him in a little Spanish that I knew. And then I see him the next day and dude is talking in English and I'm on his channel. I'm like, "Dude, you talk perfect English. Yesterday you said you didn't speak English." Okay. That was part of the live that I did yesterday and showing you receipts. And this is how I can say not everything you hear about or see on the news is factually real, folks. All right. This guy is, I believe, part of this whole news media hired opposition to push the agenda narrative. I'm telling you the truth. Okay. Whether you believe it or not. And many of you already know the truth. Many of you already know. Crime Scene Collective was there and they were looking for creators. That was the guy. This was the message I sent him. That's the guy who was standing out there, told me he didn't speak English. And I got there right after the suits left. Okay. So I'm not bullshitting anybody. All right. So let's get back to Miss Barnhart. Listen to the rest of what she says about the breaking Nancy Guthrie case and what they did to the IDAHO4, because I'm talking both of them.
Clues that, as they were taken from the scene, that they could have provided for investigators.
If we had a suspect to consider, it is likely that their phone will ping and almost have an acknowledgement. That's a good word for it. An acknowledgement of Nancy's home Wi-Fi, potentially even her Bluetooth. So I have no idea with the technology. I assume the Bluetooth of her pacemaker is set strictly for her device. And that's why Dave Kennedy released his research saying, hey, he knows it's going to be pinging and beaconing out every minute for so many seconds. But I assume it's not going to reach out to other people's devices, but it could. So that's another way that could be linked to the person. But I think the Wi-Fi is huge. So if you come into my house right now, Michael, you will see my home Wi-Fi. Whether you're trying to connect to it or not, your phone knows that it exists just in case you want to connect.
So that could be the biggest thing, is the guy took the Nest Cam. We think he took the Nest camera. It's not there anymore, right? So
yep. And so go back to like Delphi murders. That was one of the things that I recommended to the FBI is, what if the person of interest who killed Libby and Abby actually pinged one of their devices? Like, what if their device saw it? And it could be called bad guy's iPhone, but it could be called Michael Ruiz's iPhone. Like, you don't know. Most people call their phone something normal, unless you're my husband and you call your phone a glass of a lot of is any feedback on license plate readers. We know there's no way with her mobility issues that she was on foot. like traveling into the woods like Elizabeth Smart or something. No way. So there has to be a vehicle involved with license plate readers, and either.
Now, keep in mind that Nancy Guthrie, per the actual legal authorities, said she was reported missing by family members February 1st. And this is important. She left her cell phone and her purse behind at the residence. They were left behind at the residence. No one's talked about that. So her cell phone still could have pinged her pacemaker if it was connected.
Nearby, and that license plate is seen frequently, or nothing jumped out. So that is something that I'm interested in. Did investigators actually look at that? There's a lot of privacy concerns about passive collection on the camera, and I will always stand by this. Do you want to be free or do you want to be safe? And I know right now people are like, oh no, we want our parents to be safe.
Do you want to be free or do you want to be safe? Which one is important for you? Okay, I don't know what's going on in the chat. My mods have got it under control. If somebody had a miscommunication, welcome into the stream. We don't want miscommunication here. That's not what we're looking for. Now, she just said the key point that I want to bring home. All right? Very clearly, it baffles my mind.
Here at Renewal by Anderson, did you know that choosing us to replace your windows and doors makes your home worth more?
She just said, do you want to feel free or do you want to feel safe? Do you want your parents, your loved ones, to feel safe or do you want to be free? Which one is it? Do you want to be safe or free? That's a no-brainer for me. If it means to stay free and giving up my cell phone and giving up all the tech that they have basically forced us to use, I mean, literally, you have to have an app to pay a bill online. Yeah, we're cutting out paper. Yeah, exactly. I mean, why should someone have to give up feeling free? Don't we have the choice? Don't we have the choice? We live in America where we still have the choice. I thought we still did. I would rather be free. Why can't we have both and not have the tech companies so sinister trying to put us into who knows what? Yeah, well, we aren't free right now in this day and age, and Nancy still isn't found. Good point. Because here's the twist. Technology creates massive evidence, massive confusion, and massive room for interpretation. And that's what they're doing. They want you to feel safe, and let's chip your grandparents, let's chip your mom, let's chip your dad, so they stay safe. Don't believe me? They're going to want to chip because think about this. Nancy Guthrie has a chip inside her body right now, guys. Her pacemaker. Her pacemaker is a device. It connects to Wi-Fi. Think about this. It's technology they are putting out in vivo, in the body, and it's technology that they are tracking. Guys, this is huge. This should make you go, whoa. This should make you ask, what technology did they use in the IDAHO4? Crime in the digital battlefield. What technology were they using? DNA. They didn't get it right. They didn't get it right. But now we could try to use the technology of Bluetooth, Wi-Fi in medical devices right inside our bodies. we can track everywhere that Nancy is. And per the authorities, Nancy was last tracked where I just showed you on the map. This is the GPS coordinates. Is this the backcountry that now they're going to erratically, amazingly, a miracle that they find her close to the Hacienda del Sol Ranch Resort? Are they going to find her hanging out? Was she under a conservatorship? Maybe they put her in a safe place, especially because the e-files came out, the day before. I don't know. This is all speculative, but I'm just going by what the authorities have already put out that no one is paying attention to. Is there a way she could have been taken from the Catalina foothills right here to 3.4 miles away from her home, and now they're searching in this area for the car they think they saw that maybe she was in? Because that looked like some random car. But could they have been on an ATV or UTV or Border Patrol vehicle in the back country roads leading this way? Look at all the trails, folks. There's the Sunny Haven Animal Sanctuary. Look at all the trails that are behind here. Look at all the trails all the way down and around that go into all these houses and these areas and right into her backyard. Look at this right there. Is it possible somebody took her from this area? There's her house right here. A golf cart. Now we're thinking. Keep dropping how you think somebody could have got away with this. Now we're thinking. The tech on this digital battlefield. I mean, remember, if it doesn't bleed, it doesn't sell. Now, if this is the real deal we're watching and they're using tech and a parallel investigation or parallel something like they did to arrest, how many drug busts do you think they had in Tucson from February, let's say January 31st, the night she was missing. January 31st, because the sheriff did admit he was over at the house. I already put that out there. Drug bust. Till now. How many drug busts do you think they had till now? Anyone? Put a number down below. How is there no suspect in custody when they have all this technology? That's a great one. Did she have a golf cart? I don't know. She's not on a golf course. Animals, yeah, animals. You can find your animals. They're chipped. They're chipped. Yep. They're chipped. Drug bust in Arizona. No, in the Tucson area. Okay, let's just check it out. Take Back America. Operation Take Back America has been in all these major towns, all these major cities. IDAHO4. I can go all the way back. I've talked about Operation Take Back America. Okay? I've talked about this. I can show you the crime that happened around in the area. Just in the massive meth and fentanyl drug bust on the 3rd of February in Tucson. Okay. Ring camera shown. That was a huge one just a couple weeks ago. The 31st, they start talking about the Pima County crime map in Tucson. You can go and take a look at all that stuff. I mean, it's out there, folks. Go and do a research. Look up what's happening. Okay, this guy was just sentenced to a drug bust one day ago. They just got 1,000 pills. This one was huge. This one I have to share. Okay, this one was phenomenal. Let me just grab my share screen. We saw this in other cases. Totally saw this in other cases. $5.5 million, Pima County Sheriff's Office. East Orange Grove Road. That's where I went to the thrift store and I took you live. 3 male suspects are in custody and another one captured. I mean, there are tons of them. This guy was just sentenced. The largest recreational residential seizure in Tucson history. Are there other things happening around the area? Are there other, major parallel investigations going on? Yes. All the time. All the time. All the freaking time. There were tons of them that were, you know what? Let me go 3 days ago. There was a 11-man arrest in Pima County. You can just search Pima County. It's that simple. Now, I don't want to go on a tangent, but yes, there are other investigations taking place. Just 3 days ago. Look and see, and will it coincide to a miracle that now Nancy's found? Maybe. I don't know, but I'm just pointing out that there are some other things happening in this area. 11 arrested in Pima County in a scheme to smuggle drugs via UPS. And what was sent to her house? UPS at 10:30 at night. Wasn't that odd? I mean, let me look and let me do a different search. Pima County drug bust, February 2026. And you can go to the DOJ. They talk about Pima County drug bust. I don't know why they put Nancy Guthrie. That's weird. That's weird. Desert Law busted. Did you guys see that at the same time Pima County Sheriff had a new series come up, and it's Desert Law busted, major drug bust? Talking about the drug. It's a reality TV show for Pima County sheriffs. Isn't that wild? Okay, Desert Law is what it's called. That's the new show that they have out on A&E. Crazy. ICE agents everywhere. Yeah, Operation Take Back America is huge right now. It is going on. It was a major plan developed in 2024 to carry out 26. They hired all those retired police officers to go into the ICE. They trained them, all this stuff. I mean, you can go down the line. But the digital technology age that we live in today, we are looking at it. And this is the rise of the PSYOP language. What's a PSYOP? A psychological operation. It refers to military or military intelligence influence campaigns. The world is now used broadly online. Media manipulated, narrative shaping, information flooding, emotional steering. I've talked about all these things. They are polarizing tactics. And a lot of you get it. Some of you watching the stream on replay may not understand what's been happening in our world. It's not as large as you think it is. Here's the important part. Just because something feels manipulated doesn't mean that it's organized government operations. It just means that narrative management absolutely exists. They have to manage the narrative somehow. So governments, political groups, corporations, tech, media organizations, they all frame stories. They emphasize certain angles. They downplay pretty much the truth, in my humble opinion, allegedly. They use emotionally loaded language. It's the whole fear factor. It's the whole let me grab you by your emotions that I saw after leaving Nancy Guthrie's on-site location. They time release strategically. It's not secret. That's communication strategy, folks. It is power moves. simply powerful people in organizations. And the crime stories, they use it as cultural flashpoints. Think about the stories I told you about on the private live yesterday. If you guys missed it, consider watching it. I talked about Patty Hearst. I talked about Elizabeth Smart. I talked about, in the 70s, I talked about stories that frame our past. They become political talking points, law enforcement credibility tests. Look at how they're talking bad about the sheriff now. Look at all the people that are about to retire in this Nancy Guthrie case because of this. They get rid of the old, they bring in the new. They talked about campus safety debates in IDAHO4. They talked about mental health discussions, gun control, weapon control, immigration debates, masculinity narratives, that lone wolf that couldn't get a date. They talked about tech surveillance and good old who? Mr. G has been a part of this from day one. Day one, folks, right in our face with the digital and DNA information. And he says, we can figure this out.
Family all go to school together. There's cousins, there's aunts, there's uncles. We could find this guy with.
We can find this guy.
Lineage companies were.
He said the authorities weren't telling him anything, but now he's saying, we can find this guy. And guess what?
Yeah.
Put Idaho on the map.
Christy, Steve, we're going to stay on this.
They sure did put Idaho on the map, because I just showed you the same individual that was being interviewed.
There's two other devices involved in this that we know of, right? That's the Nest camera that was taken off of her front porch, which presumably the Wi-Fi was on, and Nancy's pacemaker, which they sent the Bluetooth sniffer device to fly around and try to find it. Unfortunately, with no luck. But with those two devices, one is Bluetooth, one is Wi-Fi. Are there any clues that as they were taken from the scene, that they could have provided for investigators?
If we had a suspect to consider, it is likely that their phone will ping and almost have an acknowledgement. That's a good word for it. An acknowledgement of Nancy's home Wi-Fi, potentially even her Bluetooth. So I have no idea with the technology. I assume the Bluetooth of her pacemaker is set strictly for her device. And that's why Dave Kennedy released his research saying, hey, he knows it's going to be pinging and beaconing out every minute for so many seconds. But I assume it's not going to reach out to other people's devices, but it could. So that's another way that could be linked to the person. But I think the Wi-Fi is huge. So if you come into my house right now, Michael, you will see my home Wi-Fi. Whether you're trying to connect to it or not, your phone knows that it exists just in case you want to connect.
And I think they know who connected to the Bluetooth devices, especially for all the music.
So that could be the biggest thing is this: the guy took the Nest cam. We think he took the Nest camera. It's not there anymore, right?
Yep. And so even Delphi, go back to like Delphi murders. That was one of the things that I recommended to the FBI is what if
she was not only connected to the IDAHO4, now she has released the information she was with Delphi. What did you catch that? I clicked out of it.
An older generation that typically when these pings come in, there was a dark period. Yeah.
You're not going to see anything until they actually have a suspect and look at their phone. But what kind of clues in the cell tower data could lead them to someone so you would have a chance to check on the phone? I mean,
oh yeah, that's a fantastic question. And back to Idaho again. Jared and I dealt directly with the FBI CAS team, and they're the ones that get the cell towers and they find the gaps. And without them, we probably wouldn't have stumbled upon the log file that we did when they told us, hey, there was a dark period where he wasn't pinging anything during this time. It's kind of weird. So the communication is key. If investigators aren't talking, forensics isn't going to make sense. You need everyone involved to paint the entire picture because there's so many different specialties. If typically when these pings come in, they will say, okay, this many devices were in this area at this time. Also think about the time of night when that is. In her neighborhood, I have a friend that lives close by. She went there and she said one cell service is terrible in that area, which isn't great, but you still will likely ping towers. It's also very dark. It seems like it's an older generation that typically lives in there, so they're mostly asleep. So I assume there's not going to be a huge, like hundreds of thousands of phones. So once they have that, they can contact the network service providers and track back to actual individuals.
And they're going to be, you know, if everybody's asleep, they're going to be the phones that are moving, right? So they can narrow it down even more. There's two other devices involved in this that we know of, right? That's the Nest camera that was taken off of her front porch, which presumably the Wi-Fi was on, and Nancy's pacemaker, which, you know, they sent the Bluetooth sniffer device to fly around and try to find it.
Yes.
Unfortunately, with no luck. But with those two devices, you know, one is Bluetooth, one is Wi-Fi. Are there any clues that, you know, as they were taken from the scene, that they could have provided for investigators?
If we had a suspect to consider, it is likely that their phone will ping and almost have an acknowledgement. That's a good word for it. An acknowledgement of Nancy's home Wi-Fi, potentially even her Bluetooth. So I have no idea.
So where are we at in this case right now as a benchmark for Idaho 4? Well, in this Nancy Guthrie case, I'm going to merge them because they've got the same players. We've already identified that. They are looking to solve crimes faster, which technology can help, but technology can mislead the public faster. It can fabricate evidence convincingly and amplify misinformation globally. Is that the scariest part? I think it's most people cannot distinguish real from synthetic anymore. And I'm talking about the technology versus new. This is the new reality, right? And once that happens, the story no longer is just about the people involved. It becomes about identity. This synthetic information. I mean, think about it. Let's talk about witnesses, victims, and players in the digital area. Witnesses nowadays can be doxxed and harassed, turned into the villains. We've seen that. Or they turn them into heroes overnight. Victims are memorialized and analyzed simultaneously. They have their digital past excavated. We've seen that. They become part of the online identity battles. We've seen that in the court records with the IDAHO4. And suspects are tried in the court of public opinion. Meme villainized, right, with bananas and the scary AI pictures, and analyzed frame by frame. Digital forensic now matters as much as physical forensics, right? Because they're saying, oh, the DNA, we can't figure it out. So now we got to go high tech. The digital plays detective in real time. I've seen this. I've seen this with other creators. But here's what we need to do as a balanced society. Instead of asking, is this a psyop? Why don't we start asking, who benefits from this narrative? Who profits from outrage? Who gains policy influence? And another one I thought about last night was, what data is verified versus viral? What technology is being used behind the scenes? And who or what incentives are driving coverage? That keeps you balanced, not speculative. And this is the most important part. It's critical not to assume victims are props, witnesses are actors, or tragedies are staged, that line of thinking can unintentionally harm real people. Because we've seen these people blurred out. But if we examine media incentives, narrative framing, technological influence or interference, either or, and the psychological impact, that's fair and that's intelligent. And that's what I do here. Let's finish watching her interview. I clicked on it. You know what? Maybe we're not supposed to watch the end of this interview because we have been given a bunch of BS.
Thousands of phones. So once they have that, they can contact the network service providers and track back to actual individuals.
And they're going to be, if everybody's asleep, they're going to be the phones that are moving, right? So they can
everyone's asleep.
There's two other devices involved in this that we know of, right? That's the Nest camera that was taken off of her front porch, which presumably the Wi-Fi was on, and Nancy's pacemaker, which they sent the Bluetooth sniffer device to fly around and try to find it.
Yes.
Unfortunately, with no luck. But with those two devices, one is Bluetooth, one is Wi-Fi. Are there any clues that as they were taken from the scene, that they could have provided for investigators?
If we had a suspect to consider, it is likely that their phone will ping an almost acknowledgement. That's a good word for it. An acknowledgement of Nancy's home Wi-Fi, potentially even her Bluetooth. So I have no idea with the technology. I assume the Bluetooth of her pacemaker is set strictly for her device. And that's why Dave Kennedy released his research saying, hey, he knows it's going to be pinging.
Because the phone was left behind. It'll be pinging. It'll be pinging to her medical provider to monitor.
Minute for so many seconds. But I assume it's not going to reach out to other people's devices, but it could. So that's another way that could be linked to the person. But I think the Wi-Fi is huge. So if you come into my house right now, Michael, you will see my home Wi-Fi. Whether you're trying to connect to it or not, your phone knows that it exists just in case you want to connect.
So that could be the biggest thing is this: the guy took the Nest camera. We think he took the Nest camera. It's not there anymore, right? So
Yep. And so even Delphi, go back to like Delphi murders. One of the things, a person of interest who killed Libby and Abby actually pinged one of their devices. Like, what if their device saw it? And it could be called bad guy's iPhone, but it could be called Michael Ruiz's iPhone. Like, you don't know. Most people call their phone something normal, unless you're my husband and you call your phone a glass of bourbon. He's an icon, which is crazy, but we would know it was Jared Barnhart if we saw that bourbon. So one thing I didn't hear a lot of is any feedback on license plate readers. We know there's no way with her mobility issues that she was on foot, like traveling into the woods like Elizabeth Smart or something. No way. So there has to be a vehicle involved with license plate readers, and either the person lives very close nearby and that license plate is seen frequently, or nothing jumped out. So that is something that I'm interested in. Did investigators actually look at that? There's a lot of privacy concerns about passive collection on the camera. And I will always stand by this. Do you want to be free or do you want to be safe? And I know right now people are like, oh no, we want our parents to be safe and we don't want things like this to happen to that generation. But you should assume your phone, like I just said, is looking for my Wi-Fi. If you're in my house, your microphone is listening so you can get ads all the time. Your cameras will passively collect events that they see. And it's for mind to function. When you bring an electronic into your life, it's going to do what it's designed to do. And if you don't like that, you need to get a flip phone, disconnect all cameras from your house. But also you can't be sad when something occurs and you wish you had technology to help you track the criminal.
Okay, what did y'all think about that? What is going on in our world today? We were not told the truth in Idaho 4, I believe. We're not being told the truth in many of these cases, which are on national news media. But see, a lot of people stopped trusting the news media a long time ago. They trust independent social media people. And now that they have social media covered, who do we believe in social media? That's the question. And the question with the Idaho 4 at the end of the freaking day, folks, is this, in my humble opinion: the digital age crime media. Remember when I tell you this, we don't live in the information age anymore. We live in the perception age. Truth competes with speed, emotion, engagements. Truth competes with algorithms. Truth competes with artificial intelligence. The most powerful force in 2026 is not technology anymore. It's not. It's narrative. Who is feeding us these narratives? How are they benefiting from the narrative? Think about that, folks. We can go and read all the documents we want. Why did they only pack up Xana, Ethan's, and Madison's room? Why? We can go back and ask the questions: who is benefiting? Who is profiting off the crime in the digital battlefield? I think the truth will be very apparent. I think the truth will be very apparent in the next coming days, especially in the Nancy Guthrie case. I think we're going to have a breakthrough, and I hope and pray that we do. I pray for every single one of you that sees this stream. Yes, Dina, Utah. Yes, absolutely. I've always said that waking up has been so painful for some of us. I pray that every single one of you are healed in every single cellular structure in your body. I pray every single cell healed, that we can all stomach the truth when we see it and know beyond a shadow of a doubt the truth competes with those on YouTube also. I want to leave you with the final thought. The players. May God help us not forget the players involved in the Idaho 4. May we never forget the truth.
Because this one took the cake. This one made me question what is really going on in Moscow. The university on the, what day is this, guys? 28th, just a few days ago, 2 days ago, school's back in at the University of Idaho out there. There was an incident threatening. Someone received a call from an intoxicated person threatening to harm a professor. A professor.
What?
Officer advised no report. There's that fabulous. Just keep threatening anybody out there with no report. What is going on out there? Wild. Noise complaint. Fraternities and sororities are playing their music very loud. Peyton Albertson warned for noise. No report. And then, lo and behold, what do we see on King Road? King Road, bunch of college kids, very loud, throwing things around. If aggressive or if they're just having fun, unknown. Officers responded. No report. Midnight a few days ago. See the pattern, folks? Do you see the pattern to what the problem really is? Hey, I'm just sharing what I found. Or if I'm just sharing what.
Where'd it go? Shoot, hold on a minute.
Night a few days ago. Music.
There it is. Don't forget.
Hey, I want to share this with you.
Don't forget the players. Oh, Lulu Bell, you freaking rock. Bless you and your mods. May your light keep us shining. Bless you, Lulu Bell. Holy freaking moly, you guys are amazing. Bless you too, sweetheart. Bless you too. May you have sevenfold, you and Kat. May you and Kat have sevenfold of what you just gave so freely. May you have so many blessings flow into your bank account. 77 times. Truly, you people are amazing. Thank you so much, Lulu Bell. Remember the players involved in the Idaho 4. You're going to start seeing the players involved in other cases. You will. Everybody give it up for Katz and Lulu Bell. Wow. Look at that, y'all. We're doing something good. We must be doing something right here. We must be. Judge. University of College of Law, 1984. Spouse is employed at the U of I. Bill Thompson, prosecutor's office for 30 years. University of Idaho College Law, 1990. What is that, 1980? Ann Taylor, defense counsel. UI doctorate degree in 1998, U of I. Art Bettidge, the mayor. Crime of passion, folks. UI class of 1976. Kathy Mabbutt. UI College of Law, 2001. Remember, she was a nurse employed by the U of I. Brett Payne, lead investigator, U of I master's degree, received a scholarship from the Army. Well, he earned it. U of I, James Fry, BS and master's. Became chief in 2016. Formerly captain of the UI Campus Policing Division. Folks, he was the main guy on campus at the little police office on campus. Yes, folks, there is documentation out there on the internet that I also found that he was in that position and then made chief of police. Yes, folks, it is all true. He was at the campus of policing for a very long time. And then good old Scott Green, U of I president, 1984 Kappa Sigma fraternity. Salary of $400,000 plus, because now he's got his books and his speaking engagement and all this other stuff because of the Idaho 4 unalivings. And then top of the line, Brad Little, who they have been trying to get out of office for many years. If you know the history there, U of I class of 1976. And what was his fraternity? The one that's always getting in trouble in the news, Phi Delta Theta. He gave $1 million in funds to make sure the campus was safe right after the homicides. Yes, folks, Fry also trained in the FBI, really close, tight-knit. Yes, abso-freaking-lutely. Remember the players, the witnesses, the DNA, the tech, the media, social media, and more. Because you're seeing a well-operated money-making machine in our economy. Y'all give it up for my mods. Give it up for every single individual in this chat, in our community. We are trying to be the most accurate, truthful stream out there. We're not trying to gain attention or make a name for ourselves. And yes, thank you for the reminder. Yet again, the WSU frats, many violations, just suspended. I posted this yesterday, 21 hours ago. Yes, several, they're suspended again. And it just continues. Remember, these are the people, these are some of the fraternities, these are some of the people and the players that were involved in the U of I. I can't make this shit up, folks. And I apologize for being a little spicy in the beginning, because in the digital battlefield that we are in, we are literally at the crossroads of this digital battlefield. Y'all, have a fantastic weekend. I am taking a couple of days off to enjoy my family, to get some things done I've needed to do some spring cleaning, to pray on my knees yet again for our world and our country and every individual here. And if you are one of my haters, I pray for you too. And I hope your ears burn all weekend long and then some. I love you all. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Be well, every single one of you. Love you guys. And I truly mean it.
Can you feel the shift arise? A love for the truth reflected in our eyes. Return the pages, breaking all the locks. This is a true crime, resetting all the clocks. From the ashes of silence, a new day is born. For every lost soul, a promise is sworn. The blindfold is lifting, steady and slow. A garden of justice is starting to grow. A shift to arise, pure justice. A lady justice.